Okay. Welcome everyone. It's good to have you guys here, and I want to thank you especially for coming for tonight's meeting. If you can hear me, can you type I can hear you? Okay, I'd like you to also tell me your name and the city you're joining me from. Tonight is going to be really exceptional, and we're going to have a great time. And we're looking at the Singapore Founders Retreat pre-event, and have a gentleman with us, so the main anchor for the Singapore event, who will be in charge of anchoring tonight's event. So welcome.
Evening, sir.
Good evening. I think your audio is quite low.
Okay, hold on.
So Kike, can you follow up with Dr. Cosmos PA that we're live? Kike, okay, can you do that? It's still low. Can you also do that for me? Are you using an earpiece? By the way, guys, as you're joining us, please tell us your name and the city you're joining from. So I have Ayomide from Lagos. Welcome, Ayo. Good to have you. Manuel. How are you, Manuel? How are you, Manuel? Is the network issue from my end? Kike, don't you have his number? Eh? Kike, speak to me. Yeah, Dr. Charity. Call her now. Can you guys hear me? Let me see. I hope it's not my network. I just want to be sure my network is good. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, type I can hear you. Okay, beautiful. So my own network is good. I think it's Oscar zone that is shaky or something. But mine is good. Mine is good. We can't hear you at all at this point.
Sorry, my mic was muted. Can you hear me now?
Okay, you're better now.
Yeah.
Finally.
Finally. We're using the same network, so.
I used, how do you know we're using the same network? How do you know we're using the same network? Are you
So
still in
let
the
me
office?
see. We
Me,
have
I'm
some
still in
people
the
coming
office.
in. Hawa from Abuja, great to have you. Kristen Uka. Um, Ralph Nation Mix. Nice to see you. So if you just joined us, just drop your name and the country you're watching from. If you can drop a flag, maybe we'll give you a free ride to Singapore. Maybe.
Did I hear free ride? Did I hear the word ride? I right.
So I mean, Dr. Stevie, I mean, this retreat for those who do not know the founders retreat. I mean, like, what's the genesis for you? It's a fantastic concept, fantastic idea, but why was it important for you to start it?
Well, for me is I realize that there's a lot we founders don't know, and we even suffer a lot more because depend on how you founded your business, right? Some of us, I, for example, look for a job, didn't get job, and I had to run my business. So it then means there's so much we don't know. Corporate governance, structure, there's just so much. And when you see why African businesses are not transgenerational, it's because of these things.
Mm,
And unfortunately, also we do not have our own like a clique, like a community of fellow founders, right? Or business runners. Whether you
mm,
founded it or somebody else even founded it or you took over. We don't have that clique where we can encourage each other and have real serious conversations. I remember one of us coming for this retreat sent me a message. So it was part of our Doha retreat. And his message reads, first of all, I now understand why you were hammering on structure during our
mm.
last retreat. I just survived a betrayal, a loss of 300 million. He went on and on and on. And
Wow.
so now I get everything you say. And I remember my session with him was almost like prophecy. So what then happened is, how someone will say something and you think I'm still far
From that happening to you.
from that time. And I have that same experience with Bishop Oyedepo, by the way. Like you feel like I'm still far from where this man is saying. Only few months down the line, like it's like the whole house comes crashing. Like, okay, obviously.
But yours wasn't 300 million, was it?
Oh no, it was way more way more brutal. Right. But so we need these kind of experiences where we can learn. Like one of the things they will be enjoying is they would have opportunity to pitch their budget for 2026 to the board. And again, you are having way more experienced people, older people, and many founders don't yet have it. So we simulate how that looks like, hoping that they will then use the new year to set up a strong board, and really be able to pull together a really solid business. Because in that room, really, really top, in my own view, quality of people joining us for it. Aside Dr. Cosmos, we may not have done much noise about that. We have Michael Kiro, former IG of police. We have a friend of mine who's into oil and gas, multi-billion-dollar
Okay.
oil and gas business coming as well. And even the quality of even participants themselves. So there's just
Mm.
such a rich, environment that every one of us are just there to learn and soak in. Yeah.
Thank you for this. The person that lost 300 million, I hope he's watching because I'd love to hear how he bounced back and his story. I know you're a very deliberate man. I've been very privileged to see the trajectory of your growth from uh, Ogba days to now, and it's very rare that you find people that you can trace back to, the beginning. You had your 15-year anniversary of GTEx Homes, and I remember seeing the picture of you from before. Um, and a lot of people obviously would have their own reservations and comments and angles, but you've been very true to your own journey. You've been very true to your story. Is that a quality that can be taught, sir?
Mm.
The quality of sticking to your dream, is it something that can be taught, or is it something that is inherent?
Mm. Okay. Dr.
Oh,
Cosmos has also joined
Dr.
us.
Cosmos is here. Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Reverend, how are you today?
Very fine, thank you,
Good.
sir. Thank you
Good.
for being. I think I'll cede the floor to Dr. Stephen.
No, no,
I'm
no.
just a
Let's
passerby.
let's continue. No, no, no. Let's continue. Let's continue. So, can it
Yeah.
be taught? Honestly, I don't
And
think all of it can be taught. Some of it can be taught. Some of it can be caught. Some of it also can be experienced, and some of it can also be experiences from those who have experienced it.
Mm,
Right? So it's a combination of many things. It's not just one thing.
mm,
For me, for example, having been around the environment of Dr. Cosmos, it's not everything he's had to say. There are things I caught just being
mm,
around him and say, okay. For example, for many years until I met him, I used to feel something was wrong with me because a lot of people make it feel like something was wrong with me.
mm,
I remember somebody sent me, when I got back from London, he said, I see you work hard like you never touched 1 million naira in your life, like you're just about making 1 million. You know, and so I've had time where people just make me feel like, why are you working this hard? Something must be wrong somewhere. But
mm,
for meeting Dr. Cosmos with his age, 50 years in business, right? Still putting in that level of work, level of, hustle. You then
mm,
say, I'm normal. There's something wrong with me. Because apparently again, in Africa, we don't have the right models. I meet somebody who stole government money and then always talks
mm,
in a braggadocious way. And then
mm.
he's now my own template of a billionaire, quote and unquote. Do you see now?
Yeah.
So we don't have too many people who organically grew their business that can be a template for us to really see and say, okay, this is really how people who work hard
thank
to be who they are. This is how they are supposed to be. Temperature is supposed to be normal. You work hard as anybody else. You show example to those who work with you. I'm still in the office. I'm probably still going to be in the office till after 10 p.m. tonight,
Mm,
right? My most of my workers have gone home. So you have to, but somebody else doesn't behave that way because he was a civil servant, stole as much money. Even when he was a civil servant, he comes late, close early,
mm.
show off. So for me is I've had to learn over time, watching leaders like Dr. Cosmos that okay, some of how I've lived my life is also as normal as possible as well.
Okay. Thank you for that. Although the question was about the whole being taught, but let me use that to welcome Dr. Cosmos Maduka to the chat. Thank you very much for being here, sir.
thank
It's a privilege and honor to be here with you and to talk and to moderate this. We won't take too much of your time. Just the next 5 hours. That's all we need from you, sir. Um,
next 5 hours. No problem. Don't worry. You're tickling me.
um,
I didn't know you get that joke, but I got it.
Yeah, I did.
no,
My ear is sharp. I was with the Nigeria British Chamber of Commerce yesterday night, and when they asked me to make my acceptance speech, I told them, look, I have 42 pages paper to deliver for my acceptance, but I but I have become a seer now, and I can look at the heart of everybody and notice that though they want to listen to me, but everybody wants to go home. So I just want
Mm.
to tell them thank you very much. And that was how I ended my 2 pages of acceptance speech. So I got the joke of 5 hours uh, uh, speech. Yeah.
I I I wish I was there. I think that's Prince Bimbo Lashere, if I'm correct,
That
as the
that's
new.
right. That's right. He was decorated yesterday, and also decorated me as a patron of the
Fan,
of the chamber.
fan, fantastic. I'm actually a graduate of Olasho International School,
Wow.
third set. So he's also a mentor to me. It's a very small world. I should actually call him later tonight just to congratulate him again.
Yeah.
But once again, sir, thank you so much for the time. I think for me, we have a lot of questions, but for those watching, I just want them to get as much as they can. I mean, since they can't make Singapore with with Dr. Stephen, the founders retreat is what I was talking about before you came online,
Mm.
and the question to Dr. Stephen was basically, what brought that about and why. And he explained how there was no template for him to work with, and more
Sure.
importantly, a very active community of founders that understand the peculiarities of doing business, not just in Nigeria, but from Nigeria to the world. You started off at the age of 17, if I'm correct. Well, I think 17, you were wrongly accused or dismissed over the sum of 200 naira by your uncle. I think that is correct, sir, because I had to
Um,
do a bit of research.
very close to it. Actually, I worked for my uncle for 15 years. In 1976, I was to turn 15 that year, and he gave me 200 naira to start my own business. So basically, I started at 15, not at 17.
That's why you need to fact check these things.
Mm.
But I'll ask you the same question I asked Dr. Stephen, which was Dr. Stephen, similarly, I've known him from his days in Ogba, going to almost 15 years, give or take, if not more. And I've seen the trajectory of his journey. And my question to him and to you also says, what is that thing that keeps you going? Can it be taught? There are things that they teach you in classroom, in masters and PhD and all that stuff, but that thing that keeps you going, what is that thing, sir? And can it be taught? Can it be imbibed?
I will say yes and no. Yes and no in the sense that if there is a deep in you calling after a deep, then there is a deep somewhere to respond to it. The deep calling after a deep in you is that hunger that keep you going every day. So if that hunger originates from you, that you want to make a difference, you don't want to be surplus among equal, you don't want to be like every other person. There are people
Mm,
who want to be like every other person, and all they grew up aspiring to be is, I want to wear Nike. This is what is in vogue. My other colleagues are carrying iPhone. So they are not interested to be different. But if there's something in you calling to be different, that something will lead you to some other people who have made things different in their life. That yearning and hunger is the thing that will appropriate you. You begin to choose your friends. You then don't
mm,
want everybody to become your friend, because naturally people who are going nowhere are the first people that tell you, let us go. But ask them, where are you going? They are taking a stroll. There's no sense of focus and direction. There's nothing that really drive them. So there are many things nobody will teach you in school, but the hunger
mm,
in you will make you look forward to it. And that's where a lot of people don't get to appreciate power of attraction. People hears those things, they think it's voodoo, it's a witchcraft thing. No,
mm,
power of attraction is that what you think you become, the things that your heart is hungry after will manifest to you. Wherever you are, wherever I am, there are thousands of voices moving in the room where you are that you cannot see with your physical eyes.
mm,
You, but if you put a television screen, by circuit, you will bring voices, people who are speaking now in America. The same way thoughts and waves are going on, positive and negative. The one you are thinking will be the one that will draw the one person, and it comes into you. And that's how you attract things. People who thrive in negativity, because there's so many negative things also passing on here. We must understand we are spiritual beings that are trying to have natural experience. We are not natural people that are trying to have spiritual experience. So these things are how life operates. And that's why you see people who do not go to school, who have no degree, make great things, make difference in their life, because there was a deep in them that is calling after a deep. And because that deep was them, they go out looking for it. So that deep in you is what cannot be taught. That's what we call intuition. The natural people call it intuition. Those of us who are in this spiritual call it inspiration. So there is untaught knowledge. No book have it anywhere to teach you. But that hunger in you, well, in a critical situation where there is no exercise book for you to refer to, something will say, go this way, go this way. But outside of that untaught knowledge, you need to see things by observation. One of the greatest things that happened to me, because I didn't go to school like many of you went to school, I did not have the privilege by the death of my father. But this hunger to make the difference was in me. And I live by observation. When they say that travel is one of the big universities, many people will not appreciate it. Why we ask people to come to Singapore is not just for them to see the street of Singapore, but being in one room with me without me even saying a word. You will, if you are careful and if you are looking for something, there are many things you will learn. You may say it doesn't matter. You may learn that if I eat food, you will not see a grain of rice in my plate. And you may begin to ask me, is this part of my financial management? How do I eat rice and a grain will not drop? And conversation can start from there. So there are things we cannot teach you, but you will learn it by observation. I learned a lot working with the Japanese, just seeing the way they do things. It was one of the best universities that I went by just observing how things is. So many people don't appreciate the power of just not just networking but association. If you agree with me that nature taught us that you don't get too close with people with certain disease because they will infect you. During COVID, they tell you you need to stay about certain feet away. 5 feet away. And they made map in the airport to avoid the infections. If you stay close to a wealthy man, he will infect you with his success. If you stay away, you will not. This disease will not catch you. So he stay too close. He may never say anything, but he can sneeze. Some spit of his sneeze. That is part of the blessing, because they tell you to stay away from COVID man because the spit of him will make you have COVID. if in the natural you can catch disease like that, it's also work on every aspect of life. So that's the
I
need.
love I love the way you simplify things, and I think that's one of the greatest assets that you have in your arsenal when it comes to teaching or mentoring. You see, because now I want you to sneeze all over me, sir. I want to catch cold. I want you to have kata, sneeze all over me, my wife, my children, all of us. Do everything. So moving on very quickly, I
Well,
wanted to touch
well,
on
well,
yes, sir.
we are, you are very safe now because we are in a COVID introduced Zoom, and that keep everybody away from infections. You know, that's why I'm telling people who refuse to come to Singapore, they will never be affected. No matter how much we did everything, we are protected by Zoom. That infection of level of intimacy, they are safe from it. So they shouldn't worry to catch any disease from you.
Well, let's pray that there won't be digital bugs. Anything can happen with this AI world. Maybe you can catch cold by AI. So let me throw open to those who just logged on. If you're where you are, just drop your name, your country. Let's know where you're signing in from. We're talking about the Founders Retreat happening in Singapore, and just getting a general idea. And we have the phenomenal, legendary, iconic entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, evangelist, an all-round inspiration. It's a privilege to be born in the time of Dr. Cosmos Maduka. And I think for me, sir, I don't want to say you're an endangered species, but in the times that we're living in,
Yeah.
it's refreshing to hear from people like you. It's refreshing that you have stayed the course, irrespective of everything that has been happening around you. I wanted to just touch on very quickly Singapore for those who don't understand why Singapore. Um, why Singapore was selected. Can you just share that with us? I don't know if Dr. Stephen or is Dr. Cosmos that wants to address that.
Stephen, you can take that. I can come behind you. But Singapore stood out as a model of a third world country that everybody looked down on. You know, Singapore is part of Malaysia,
Mm,
and they lived like, at a time, Nigeria was at the same par or rated at the same equal. It's a third world country that became a first world country
mm,
under leadership. For us to see the difference it makes. I keep on telling people, for those who lost hope about this country, Nigeria, and I tell young people, please don't speak evil of our country. I totally agree with you that it could be better, but the
mm,
word that this country is completely useless and will never be anything is a negative word, and it's not good for you because anything you cause cannot bless you. I totally agree when you say it could be better if we find the right leader in our country. We're almost there. We're almost there with what Obasanjo did. If we had had another 8 years that follow consistently in that his policy, many people would have been shocked where we will be. Our economy was
mm,
growing 7%, one of the fastest growing economy in the world. We generated again what you call middle class, okay, and
mm,
you will see banks also people begin to earn money, and foreign investment were flowing into our economy. People beginning to believe in us because this is where the next world economic miracle will happen. 60
mm,
million youths that are between 16 to 28. The world understood the number, but leadership is what we are lacking. That's the problem of our country. If we get it right, 16 years is able to
mm,
put Nigeria in a Actually, the same people that predicted China predicted Nigeria. but unfortunately, we haven't found the leadership. And people were preparing, making advancement towards moving into this country to take a position for the next world economic miracle. And I still believe it will happen in my day and in my time. God help us. Once we can fix leadership problem, the acceleration of the development and economic miracle that will take place in this country will be the same kind of thing will happen in Singapore. But how did it happen? God gave Singapore a leader that made up his mind. He said, if I am dead in my grave and I heard you are corrupt, I will wake up. And corruption is cancer. If you can't find a leader that will take it head on, what does cancer does in a body? It takes all the blood system. A normal growth that went wild and sees the blood system to grow and grow. As it's growing, it's making the body uncomfortable and eventually make the body to suffer, to die. It dies inside the body because he has no life of his own. His life succeeds in the body. But it's a cell that rebel or become greedy. That's what corruption is all about. There are few individuals in Nigeria that are multi-billionaires sucking the system against the life of every other person. To deal with cancer, you literally kill good cells to be able to kill those cancer cells. Until we are ready as a nation, every one of us, to take this head on and say, if there is only 200 of us that are going to live, let them have a clean life. We are not yet ready to live, because if we leave the cancer, it will kill us. That's the truth about it. Singapore found a man who were willing to found that, and under few decades, they moved into the first world country and became a reference point. Read, if you haven't read this book. So that's why Stephen is trying to take us to Singapore to let us see there is possibility. Let nobody tell you it cannot be done. It has been done in our own generation. This was not 200 years ago. In our own generation and time. So if there is will and determination, that's why people like me, I am 67 on December 24. But I still believe within my lifetime that Nigeria is actually the problem of all Africa. Because if Nigeria emerge,
gets it right,
the rest of the Africa will move right away and put on the right direction. I have traveled 30 years ago when I set up Kosharis Ghana. I drove a BMW 520 from Lagos to Ghana. Under 4 hours, I was in Ghana. Wow. Under 4 hours, I was in Ghana from Nigeria. Recently, if you try to pass that border, go today, you can't go to Ghana in 8 or 10 hours. The people in Benin will tell you you must give them money. So they say Nigeria has taught us. We learned this from Nigerians. We learned it from us. They speak plainly that they learned it from us. Didn't we teach them? The truth is that we taught them. But they have learned and play faster than us. Now they are now playing in the first league. But we in some of those things. So that's why I said good or bad thing is infectious. Don't come close to anybody you don't want to be like. In fact, if you, even in a tree, and there is fruit that is decay, if a good tree stay close to that decayed tree, it won't be long. It will decay because it's attached, it's too close to a decayed tree. So look for people you like to be with, like, and associate with them. So Singapore is where like mind come together to discuss not just the problem, but a way forward, future, both for their business and how to add value to our economy. Because at the end of the day, when we solve the national problem of leadership, the country can only move entrepreneurs who will be able to unlock the economy of the country.
Thank you very much for that, sir. It's really remarkable hearing you say. I mean, when everything you said, the only thing that came to mind was the Ghana trip. How easy it was for you and smooth it was for you. And I think that's actually why this retreat is even more important in terms of trying to go and undo a lot of things. But I wanted to ask, sir, for when it comes to founders and captains of industry and people who own businesses, what do you think is like the most important quality that a founder should have? You made mention of the fact that leadership is needed to set us aright. Singapore has become phenomenal because they had one good leader, one that sets the tone for everything else. But in your experience for Nigeria, because a lot of Nigerians are watching as well, what do you think is that quality that is most important to have to set things right, starting from now?
Okay, let me touch on the other question, and then Dr. Cosmos can add.
Yeah, I
Why?
would have liked him to repeat that question because I was using my phone on this, so somebody
Okay,
was calling and he sees his voice. I
it
didn't
says,
get
okay, I'll
all
repeat it
the
after,
questions.
but Dr. Stephen, you can go ahead. I'll
Okay,
repeat the question, sir.
okay.
Yeah. So why Singapore? Singapore because just similar to what Dr. Cosmos said, Singapore is a proof that when you get leadership right, then you can get anything else right. Singapore is also a proof that when you run things properly without sentiments, right, you get it right. If you study Lee Kuan Yew, it wasn't easy, and I think Singapore will also show us that it's not going to be easy. A lot of time people think that the proof of good leadership is that everybody likes you. We all talk about, Obasanjo. How many people really like Obasanjo when he was in power? It was
Right.
after he left we all realized that, you know, man, we had a great leader. So it's important. It will be an opportunity for us to really see something real. Singapore doesn't have any natural resources. Literally, when Malaysia refused, it was literally Malaysia rejecting them
That's correct.
Mm.
that led to. So you could see, Lee Kuan Yew literally cry because he wanted that,
Union.
merger, union. He really wished it happened. He literally wept, when the whole union didn't work. And seeing how he then took that disappointment and then was able to build a country that even Malaysia is not getting the kind of results that the Singapore that Lee Kuan Yew
Not
built
result.
eventually.
They are not too close anywhere. Malaysia is still a third world country like us. They are not in a league of Singapore.
Exactly. So when you look at all that he was able to achieve, I'm hoping that we're straight. What makes a great leader? How do you evolve? How do you overcome challenges? How do you really, really navigate all the various crises that comes with leadership? And we're hoping we all live better people, ready to take on our businesses better, and evolve, and also understand. Let's be honest. Lee Kuan Yew was almost like a benevolent dictator. He was a tough man, tough, right? Extremely tough man, but he turned the nation around. And a lot of people desire to build great empire. They just want to be nice. I watch a Zoom video once. Now, you can say it's good or bad, but again, the result is there. Where Elon Musk joined a Zoom meeting and then was asking questions. Based on their response, he first fired the first one, then the first two. In a space of 20 minutes, Elon Musk fired everybody on the Zoom call.
It's funny. It's funny you should make reference to. It's funny you should make reference to Elon Musk, and I'll repeat my question for Dr. Cosmos. So
Yeah.
I'm very particular about our conversation focusing on leadership and founders in Nigeria because we're in a very peculiar time.
Sure.
Winston Churchill was rumored that, look, when he was the best prime minister Britain ever had in time of war, when it was time for peace, he became relatively unpopular. And, you know, it kind of watered down from there. The Singapore story was birthed from a man who wanted to prove a point and drag his nation out of obscurity to prominence. So he was driven. The deep in him was very evident, taking words from Dr. Cosmos.
Sure.
For Nigeria, sir, I want you to quickly highlight, based on our current situation, based on the business owners in Nigeria, wherever they might be watching or listening from, what would you say are your top qualities of a founder that we must possess right now in this time to move things forward?
My top quality would be a man that believes in himself, a man that is purpose driven, a man that wants to make a difference. Okay? Politics is so much about creed of individuals, to the best of my knowledge, pardon at the back of each other. That's Nigerian model that I have witnessed. But in other places, it's about the people. And let me be also say that if you are really a leader, you need to lead to where people will believe in you, even when they have a choice to go back. Everybody will follow you that you put a gun into his head. That's the quality of your leadership. When you tell people, go back, don't follow me. If you can get to a position and see how many people who are still willing to follow you, then you know whether you are a leader.
Absolutely.
So when you put a gun on anybody's head, it's like an armed robber meeting you and say your life or your money, and you're telling him, give me time to think about it. You are good as a dead person.
Okay. So purpose driven is one quality. What else again, sir?
Of course, a leader is somebody that is driven by vision. He needs to see the end before he starts the journey. And he's living in a world of his own, frankly speaking. It's not everybody that will understand. Many times people that have asked me, is my head correct? In Costaris, I'm being very honest. But I have a responsibility, frankly speaking, to share with them what I am seeing that they don't see, to make a believer out of them. Because if they don't buy into it, I will be a lone ranger, and actually achieving it will be more difficult for me. So I constantly have to share my vision with the people that are following me and say, this is where we are going. Quite a number of them will get a point, they said, we don't understand or see this road. The only reason why we are still following is because you are in the front. Does that mean leaders don't have fear sometimes? The answer is no. But even when leaders have fear, they don't share it. Because if you as a leader express your fear, I led Costaris to where we are. I have had difficult times in the midst of our organization where we are not sure what is going to happen tomorrow. And I'll come and talk to the people with the level of confidence that they will almost break the wall that evening. Where is my confidence coming? I believe in my anointing as a leadership that I will solve the problem. And I've never had any such problem by the grace of God that I've not found a way to solve and get out of it. But if I cave in by any means, people's morale will be drained. The speed with which people will give up and behave like the world has come to an end, it will be a broken bottle which has no mercantilism. But with that determination and confidence, because I work with principle, and I know that principle never fail because there are laws. If you obey those laws, you will always get result. People ask me, where does my confidence come? Simple. I don't violate principles. I respect laws and I obey them. And I believe there's no situation that I cannot surmount. So that's how I've been able to achieve the things I have achieved, and I've led the organization that I'm leading to the point where we are.
Thank you very much for that.
Let me add a
I
little
mean,
bit. Let me add a little bit.
okay,
The
Pastor.
the Nigerian peculiar situation, just like Dr. Cosmo said, it's a bit tough because in Nigeria, running a business, you are your own power, you are your own you are your own local government, you are your own. There's just so much burden running business in Nigeria. So permit me to add that in Nigeria, one of the qualities a leader must have, particularly for our own kind of unique environment, is a kind of stubbornness of just not giving up, right? You just have to, have this unusual resilience that no matter what we move, no matter what we face, because at some point, running business in Nigeria is like you are fighting government, and I'm not saying physically fighting, but it's like the government is trying to frustrate your business, right? The people are trying to frustrate your business. I've heard all manner of ridiculous situations, for example, where a business comes to a community and they are trying to do something to help the community, and the community is saying, you need to pay us. Like, for example, we're trying to do a road for you people or do something. I say, no, you guys must still pay us. So it's like everything is stacked against you if you're going to run business in Africa. And yet, you still have to have that doggedness, that, decision to say, we're just going to keep going. Another important thing is consistency. I realized that everybody you eventually call a sage in business in Nigeria were just because they were consistent. At the beginning, everyone literally went through their own struggles, went through their own challenges, went through their own season where nobody believed you, where everybody believed you're up to some scheme, some game. We can't trust you. There was something you're trying to do. So you just have to be consistent. But there's a way you show up every day that a time comes, everybody just say, you know what, at this level, okay, we just have to respect this person. I'll give you a practical example. I've seen an exhibition before, two people doing an exhibition, right? One person, this is like, let's say the fifth year, I'm just giving an example. This person is doing like a trade fair or some form of exhibition. And guess what? All the customers went online doing videos castigating that they didn't get enough customers to come for their own to the exhibition, and just went on complaining. Okay. Now, another older entrepreneur who has had more than 40 years in business also did a similar exhibition, right? And he didn't have enough people show up, but the reaction was different. You see what I'm talking about? What is going for the older person is consistency. That people by themselves choose to say, yeah, they had their reservation, we wish more people show up, but hey, this is a veteran, right? We know over time, maybe subsequent ones will work. So you must understand, and I think young entrepreneurs don't know this, because when they get frustrated, I'm trying to grow this business, but I'm getting, it's like everybody doesn't want to believe in me. Nobody even wants to invest. Nobody wants to even give me a chance. Meanwhile, there's this older entrepreneur that is just getting money anyhow. I mean, example, case in point, is a Dangote versus some young tech guy, right? So you see Dangote travel all over the African countries, and Dangote will tell you, "Oh, I'll build a new factory, $1 billion, $2 billion." That money is not coming fully from Dangote pocket. Oh. Companies are investing. Banks are going to give him that money. But you then say, why are the same banks not giving a young entrepreneur, very young, hungry? Well, Dangote has been consistent. So you too, show up your consistency of just keep doing it. Over time, you see the whole world gather together again and celebrate in a huge way.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen. I'm sure we're going to even look at that more at the at the retreat, because that's a very interesting angle. I think we're in a generation where consistency is a very rare quality in terms of maintaining a path and sticking with it. But we'll come to that. I want to go into the side of family, because you build the best organization in the world. You are consistent over the couple of years. There's always a silent part that is not spoken of, which is, family, your health, your peace, while chasing this vision, this noise in your head, this voice that won't let you sleep unless you do this thing. So, Dr. Cosmos, a lot of founders really sacrifice family, health, peace, while chasing success. What's that one non-negotiable principle that you live by, that you feel you can share with those watching when it comes to this issue of balance? Some say there's nothing like work-life balance, that it's a myth. But what is that one thing that has worked for you without compromising on the rest? Can you hear him, Dr. Stephen?
Yeah, I can hear you. I believe.
Sorry. I heard you. I didn't know I was muted. Yeah. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah, one consistent thing that had worked for me, that had helped me, because I would tell people that the person that will succeed to get me distracted is the person who has done a great damage to me. So yes, because I understand the power of focus. If you focus, with power of focus, you can break a bottle. With intensity, the mind is so powerful. Therefore, I do all I can to live in peace with my wife. And we lived for 43 years before she went to be with the Lord in harmony. Doesn't mean we don't misunderstand ourselves. But I do not think, frankly speaking, that I would have succeeded as I did with a broken home the way things is. Let me get back to what Stephen has said. You know, we talk about consistency. I want to use the word perseverance, even though they are the same. A stone do not break by the intensity of a power of a hammer. It is the consistent pressure over a period of time that will make it crack. The first time you hit it, it will hit back to you. But you cannot realize the impact that it has been made. If you are consistent, that's where, again, the consistent come in. Perseverance coming day after day on the same thing, one day you will see it cave in. But all the other time you are pressing that hammer, it looks like nothing happened. That's how life is in everything we do, whether in the spiritual or in the natural. It works that same way. So there are many mistakes we make struggling to come to the top. Life is, there's no total balance. When people say you find balance, you can't find absolute balance. It's all about moderation. If you give me opportunity today, maybe by the age where I am today, I could do certain things a little different than I did it. I watched Stephen the other day. I saw him hugging her daughter somewhere in a safari, maybe in Dubai or maybe in a Doha or somewhere. Yeah, okay. Beautiful picture, beautiful scenery. I grew suffering poverty, working hard to overcome poverty. To a great extent, I neglected the intimacy with my children, that all I thought was that I had money. I have provided things for them. So my children bond with my wife. I'm sorry to say something I'm not very proud to say, because I don't come home. I never took my child to school. So when my first son was growing up, he sees my driver every morning, took him to school, bring him back to school, and what everybody in the house call me Oga. And I'm not home. So when I arrive, everybody is saying Oga. He come to me and say Oga. That's not funny, but that's a serious mistake. He thought my driver was his daddy because that's the person he see, and I am Oga. Because home for me is like a bus stop. I travel 9 months of the year. I just go to Japan, come back, visit home, and move again. So I was like a visitor that comes to their home. It's as time progresses that I started slowing down. You will only say that it was my last boy that had, or second to the last, from the second, that had that level of bonding with me that they recognize. So there's always a trade-off. Yes, so my children angry with me that I'm never there with them. I didn't watch their soccer. I didn't come to their school prefer, but I've also have created wealth for them, and I didn't have a child out of wedlock as if I'm fooling around. So they should also see that there are prices you pay for everything. That's why nobody is in heaven on earth. There are no perfect balance. You just see what works for you and do your best to mitigate and bring it as best as you can.
That is a very and I appreciate that. It's a very honest and frank answer, because when I look at the history of a lot of the top founders, um, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, um, all of them, the top guys, even in our country as well. You look at Dangote, Femi Otedola. I'm reading the book, Femi Otedola's book currently, and I see the role the wife played. I look at someone like a Bill Gates. Yes, they might have separated, but the better part of his life was spent with his wife. And I think there's like a direct correlation between a woman or a partner. Let me use the word partner because we also have female founders, partners who support you and who are there for you. But I also, with what you said, it seems that you can anyone have it all?
No, absolutely no. You cannot be fairer than me and be darker than me or taller and shorter. So it's either you are taller and I'm shorter. So no, God places the balance everywhere. No, there's no way one person have it all. Yes.
Uh,
Thank you for that.
and
Thank
I
you so
agree.
much for
And
that.
I agree. I was sharing this with um one of because I needed some of my team to stay a little bit back in the office. They closed by 5. We had some deadline they needed to meet, so I wanted them to stay maybe till about 7 or so. So I remember asking them. I said, "How many of you are okay with it?" Everybody said yes, except for 2 of them. So I then said to the one that said he doesn't want to wait. I said, "What's the challenge?" He said, "My wife is pregnant." I said, "Well,
Mm,
fantastic, but I said, "But I have 3 children, and when my wife was pregnant as well, sometimes I had to get home way late in the night, okay, because even the children she's giving birth to needed to have a great life, and if I
mm,
don't go the extra mile, because there's no successful CEO that does 8 hours. The data has shown it. They do between 12 to 16 hours, if not even more. So I then broke down. Incidentally, there's a family that we both know, myself and this gentleman, who, because of finances, after 30 years, the marriage is separated because of money. Because the wife came home, they locked her out, they were owing rent, they were owing facility money, and everything decided. So I then reminded, in fact, by the time I was done, I said, "So now, do you still want to do the job I will stay extra, or you want to go home?" He said, "I'm staying." Right? Because we could get it that, look, and I said to him, I said, "Look, this work-life balance, you check it, is 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 usually middle class and below that talks about it."
mm.
Right? Just check it. This whole work-life balance, whether it's a motivational speaker, but check, it's middle class below. Whether it's difficult to find people at that highest level tell you about, because except they want to lie, because they know
Mm,
that they have to sacrifice certain things. What I recommend is it's called compensation, right? And I do it a lot, right? I put in a lot this year to work. And so we're ending the
mm,
year. I was then telling them, a particular friend of mine who's a billionaire in the US, inviting us to Bahamas to come and spend New Year Eve with him. So me and the kids and the family will go to Bahamas, probably spend a few weeks. And then 2026 has come again. We hustle. So is to sometimes figure out how you then compensate for the times you've been away. That's my own method. But to say
mm,
that I must be present every day, I will not be able to drive the vision, to the level that I
mm.
really desire to drive it to.
Thank you very much for that, Dr. Stephen. I would, okay, let me see. If there's anyone that has any questions, please just put it in the comment section, so that I can throw it out there. There was it was Bill Gates that I read about as to in the early days. No, sorry, it was Steve Jobs in the early days where he bought a place, like a remote, very remote. He goes there, locks himself up for I think 2 weeks, no phone, and that's where he churns out his ideas for Apple, all the very innovative ideas. He kind of like locks away. I hope I'm not confusing. It's either Bill Gates, or I think it's Bill Gates, or but whichever way, the principle is what I'm trying to bring out.
So,
What is that thing you do to unplug yourself from the world to go as a founder, to envision, to get that vision, to get that inspiration? How do you develop that process for you in the midst of so much happening around you?
yeah, you definitely need a time for yourself. It depends on who you are, what works for you. There's no one single model for everybody. But like I said, once you are a leader and you are visionary, there are things that are not written in any book. So that's why I say this can be taught and it cannot. So it
Mm,
both way. Um, for somebody like myself, I have times. Okay, take for instance how what I worked out with my wife was that I don't want to I don't want to have a TV in my house so that when I am at home I'll give her attention. I don't want to be talking to her, another gentleman or woman is interjecting or something coming in so because woman number one need is emotion. Woman is an emotional being. She She like to be talked to you and you look her straight into the eyes, not when you are placing phone or say, hey, go. No, she has you. Whether she's talking rubbish, you keep on nodding, yes. Looking at her head and say, yes, yes. They take pleasure in it that you give them attention. So that's how I'm able to compensate my working hour, that she knew when I'm home nobody is calling me on the phone. I'm not discussed because I work till 11 anyhow. It's what is left until the
mm,
time I go in the market. So it's not the time I carry phone or discuss. I give my wife, I ask her, how did the day go? So he can tell me, oh, this child gave him a rough time, this other person gave him a rough time. You listen with rapt attention and nod. Sometimes you may not necessarily respond immediately. Just say, give me time to think about it. Give me time to think about it. Because you also want to say, what did you say after I said those things? So give me time to think about it. May not be immediate answer, but it shows you've listened. You heard what was
yeah.
saying. But you don't just want to say things without having a second thought over it so that you're deep in what you are saying. But outside of that, I take out time to wait on the Lord. Fasting and prayer is my private time. During that period, I don't, sometimes I go to work, sometimes I don't go to work, but it's a time I am more focused, that have deep thoughts, wake up in the night, make some notes, and then go back to bed, stay with the word. And that's where my thought about what I want to do is sharpened. Some of the things I really want to give a deep thought are during those process that I do that. There's no model that works for everybody. Some of these things you have to develop your own model, how it works for you, and provided you are getting a good result on it,
Result
I
from it.
tell you to go ahead. It's a winning formula. You go ahead and continue with it. So that's the way I handle it myself.
Dr. Stephen, what about you?
Well, I think, I agree with Dr. Cosmos. There's a lot of wisdom with what he has just shared. And to be honest, I'm having to learn that a lot. I always say that my wife had to to really, really sacrifice a lot. The level of maturity she's had to have is just
Mm.
exceptional, right? It's just really exceptional, and her wisdom is way much more than her age. So I will say she's had to do that. So I give a practical example. I think about how many years into our marriage, was it just 5 or 6 years? I realized that we're growing increasingly apart, unknowing to each other. We children just takes women from you, technically,
Mm.
right? They start giving their children so much attention. So one of the things we then picked up were two strategies of going to watch a movie date uh, twice or 3 times a week, or we shot to a movie date and a walk. So we just take a walk in the night together, and it gives
Mm.
opportunity to talk and and gist, and women want to gossip. But to be honest, some of us are not good at gossip, right? And it took me years to realize that gossip is really something women wants to have. And when I mean gossip, it's just gist, like what
You listen
happened
to,
to
listen to let me think about it,
this.
because it creates objection immediately. It creates
Ex-
problem. You listen,
exactly.
you listen with laugh attention. Then let me think about it.
Absolutely. Because they want to have those gists. They want to, do you hear this? Did you know this one? Come and hear what happened. But I
Mm.
think gradually I've had to learn to get, to enjoy those conversations. Say, oh yeah, if I even may have gist too for you, see what happened today. But
I think fundamentally, Dr. Steven, if and this is not just for the married folk, anyone in a serious relationship or building, the the stuff I've discovered in my journey. So I've been married to my wife. We've been married 13 years. We've known each other 17. She's also in media and broadcasting. So our world is very much um, in the media realm. But I found out that one of the things that she looks forward to when I do get home is the ability to share and gist those things that
it's
nobody
a
else
need.
knows.
It's a
You know,
need.
nobody else knows, and
Yeah.
nobody else knows but her. And it's the little things that really really matter to them, and it's
Yeah.
becoming very clear the older you get that it's the little things that matter to the partners that you have. But anyway, that was quite interesting. So you need to compensate adequately. You need to gist and gossip adequately to find the balance. Dr. Cosmos,
By the way,
have
before you
you
ask your next question, for those
yes,
of
yes.
you, the Singapore event is closed, so you cannot register again to come physically, unfortunately. But you can join us virtually. We're going to do everything to stream the experiences virtually, the sessions virtually, and so you can be part of that. And we've made it really, really easy for
Mm,
people.
No, sim-
So if you go,
Simply, if the person has a passport that will bring him to Singapore without visa, or already have a Singapore visa, you can
that's
register. So
that's true.
if assuming you are like if you have a second passport or something like that, that you don't need to go through that process. It's just about seeing if you can get a flight ticket in the next 2 days or three, so you can
Yeah,
still be part of it. But that's very exceptional if you are really
that's true.
desperate to be there. Yeah.
Yes, that's very true.
thank you for that.
Yes, and that's, thank you for adding that. Because the reason why we closed it is largely because of the visa processing. Everybody who is coming, visa sorted, all of that. So
Mm,
if we need to do visa for you, it can't come out again. But if you already have a second passport, you even have other types, like you have British passport, US passport, you don't need a visa. You just book your ticket
Or the
and you can still be
Caribbean, most
part
of
of.
the Caribbean passports.
Yes, most of the Caribbean passport can still come as well. But you can call the number. We've pinned it. I think 234 904-189-8667, or US office +1 281-505-0527. But if you can't come because you don't have that passport, then you can join us virtually. I just need to register for the virtual participation on www.stephenakital.com/virtual. The good news is that if you use the code Singapore, you even get but that's strictly if you are doing that tonight. You use the code Singapore, you get a 50% discount on being able to come to attend virtually, right? To be part of the virtual. It's just $200, and we're even giving you a discount to attend for $100 if you are registered, so that at least you don't miss something. Virtually, you can still gain some opportunity to join us and pick a few things in the course of this event. But I promise you, it's one of those real life-changing experiences. I've never seen Dr. Cosmos dedicate 6 days anywhere. This is probably the first time he will have such an that experience will happen. So
Okay.
you can join us virtually. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stephen. I'll take some of the questions in the comment section, and I think we're looking at about an hour for this session. Am I correct? Or can we stretch it to
So
10?
we have
Okay.
we
So
have
we can let
about
Dr. Cosmos go.
Yeah, I'm available. Don't worry. Yo,
God bless you, sir.
yeah.
So, Emmanuel from Emaris writes, as founders who started as solo, what was the turning point and decision-making process?
I think his network is off.
Yeah, it's dragging.
Yeah, it's dragging. But there's somebody who has a question here. Say, please, sir, may I ask if there's any plan for Koschari's group to go public on the stock exchange? I feel led to invest in the company, but I'm not sure what the right channel is. I will appreciate some clarity.
Absolutely. We're already a public limited company, PLC, by the number of our shareholders. We are just trying to wait for the economy to turn around because if you look at many companies here, they are selling below book value. We've created a lot of value in our organization and we don't want to throw it away since we are not really desperate for resources, except to unlock wealth for my family and maybe start some other new business and letting people share from the foundation we have built. So once the economy is in the right direction, and the last 10 years, in fact, X and Young has been auditing us. We are being audited by the first the first big five, and then after 10 years they have to quit. We got another auditor now that so we are set to go, absolutely set to go in every ramification, but we just don't want to throw value away because we have no desperation to do that. So keep your eyes open. It's not something we are going to do in a secret. We are going to announce it out there for the public, and those of you who are ready to share from what we have created, you are most welcome.
Thank you very much for that, sir.
Yeah.
So once again, for those asking, the number has been pinned and the website is there. And like Dr. Cosmos rightly said, if you have a passport or visa and you can get into Asia, please feel free to to find your way. The reason the link is closed is because of visa processing. So if you can have access to Singapore, please feel free to come across. And if you have any questions, just throw it in the comment section, and we'll be sure to throw it out there. This is the retreat before the retreat. So would you would you say, or are you of the school of thought that everybody can be a leader? And the reason I'm asking this is that I was having a discussion with some friends earlier today where the notion, oh, it was even with Dr. Stephen, the notion is that not everyone is built to be a founder or an entrepreneur.
Sure.
What would you say to people who want to go down the road of founder just to avoid 9 to 5? So they want to quit a business, they want to live where they are working, they want to be in control of their time. What would be your advice to them, sir? Because this founder journey is not for the faint of heart.
Sure. I will frankly say that, like everything in life, you can be a good coach if you are once were a player and actually played very well. But you can also learn how to coach. But coaching without having experience of playing in the field will not be the same as a player who had played and is coaching, because you will know there are some area of slippery in the road in the farm. But when you are, if let's take for instance about coaching football, everybody that watch football on the television is a coach. Oh, look at this useless player. Look at the internet. Look at this guy, just throw the ball over the bar. So everybody can coach ball on a TV, but the field of play is a different thing. And recently, you see, I saw Baba like trying to play football with some other people. You see the way they were kicking it. But you will not say they didn't play football. They played. It's the same football they play. Therefore, the truth is that you make yourself when you are young. Statistics prove it. 86% of successful people in the face of the earth, spiritually and naturally, became between the age of 12 and 28. Do they make it at 30, 40? Yes. But as your age goes, it's shaping up because it's like a pyramid. The base, the big base, is between that age bracket that I tell you. But as you move into like this, it's getting narrow. You could still become a billionaire at 60 years, at 80 years, but you are like on top of the pyramid, the very limited number of the people. Your numbers are slowed down a majority, but where the foundation is that age bracket of making mistake and somersaulting and all of that. You wobble and swumble. So that's why many times parents destroy their children. He says, is he very young? Is he very young? They give 25 years boy money. It's it's pocket money. 30 years, you are collecting pocket money from your parents. You are still very young. When you're supposed to be running organization as CEO, I'm a great advocate to start early. Because if you try to ride bike at a younger person, if you break your leg, it will be healed faster than when you are older. Your leg heal faster at 17, 18, 20 than when you are 40, 45, because that's how nature made life. So if you want to be a founder, a darer, the earlier you start, the better, because there are some energy. Mental stress or energy is more than the physical one that they require to be able to make that difference that it takes. So don't try to, when you are at 55, 60, 70, look for some good run organization that are well structured where you can put money. You are not running a business, but you are assured of good return. You also creating wealth and planning for your retirement and things like that. Okay. I put $5 million in MTN. The first dividend I got was $780,000. It was like I hit a jackpot. So in the first 5 years, you got to return on investment. The money stayed there. Today is still a profit for the rest of the year. That if you get the right company and put money there, they will give you good return. You must not physically go and start a business and breaking your head and everything to be a founder. There are stress and almost things that would tear you apart as a founder. Success is not that easy. If it's easy, every one of us want to be successful. I haven't seen anybody who don't want to be successful. But the only thing is that is the price that to pay to be successful is not what many people are willing to pay. Yeah.
Would you call yourself successful, sir? By your standards?
Absolutely, by every standard. Yeah, I'm not hesitating about that. By every standard, yes, no.
No, the reason I asked is that sometimes you hear things like the definition of success is dependent on the person. Some might say financial success is not true success. Some might say success is having a family. Some might say that your career, achieving your goals. So success means different things to many people. But what do you think success should be, sir? Based on your experience, you've had the money, you've had the family.
Frankly speaking, success is a journey. Let's be very honest.
Not a destination.
Not a destination, okay? People like me, if I want to put it in that context, I will tell you I'm in a journey of a success because I hear some of my friends said we hit a climax. There's not the word climax is not in my vocabulary. We set goal, we break the goal, we set additional goal.
Set another goal.
That's correct. So, because if I hit a climax, that means no room for improvement. I still believe we have a lot of improvement, a lot of opportunity to grow. Even when people say I'm successful, I tell them I have 20 years plan on paper. I'm waiting for the money to execute it, not in my head, in paper. So when people, yes, I have. So it's the finance that I'm waiting for. With all the money people, what I can say that I pay my bill, I am not subjected to financial embarrassment anymore. That's what I mean. But having money truly does not mean success, because I've seen people who have money that hang themselves, not that anybody killed them. So you won't call them a successful people. So success, like you said, it means a whole lot of things for a lot of people. What kind of success you have that a 16 years young lady can use your heart to play koso? You know, if she call you your heart to be, you know,
oh my God.
So what kind of success is that? Well, 18 years ago can carry you and threaten you on the phone and you start sweating, all of that. Some people, so there are success is peace of mind. So you need to define what it is for you. So there are different things that it means to a lot of people. But all I know is a journey. You ultimately are successful when you arrive to heaven. Before then, you are on the journey of a success.
On the journey too.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. I'll throw my final question to Dr. Stephen because we want to finish by 10. But to you, sir, we live in this new world of AI. It is rumored that there will be more millionaires created in this AI generation than when we had the internet. So what the internet did for a lot of millionaires is what AI will do for more. So we're going to have a lot of young people who become very rich very quickly. If you had the ability to live longer, sir, if there was a technology that could extend your life to another 50, 100, you can live to 200 years, would you want to take that option so that you can impact the world more?
This question is for me, right? Or Stephen?
Yes, sir. It's for you, sir.
Okay. I actually believe that the AI generation. There are 3 or 4 industrial revolution that has taken place, and we are on the 5th one, which is AI is introducing. This AI revolution is not going to create billionaires. Let's stop talking about millionaires. This AI technology, the young people that get it right will will become trillionaires. We have had generation that create millionaires. We have generation that create billionaires. Billionaires are left wrong. You can stay without office today if you get it right, without a 4-wall corner call office in your garage or home, run $1 billion organization that may move into trillions of dollars. So the world has shifted so much with the AI, and that is why those who are not embracing it will look like those people who still believe they make calculation in their head when calculator was around, and then those who, when calculator was around, when internet, I said no, they're just going to stop. So you need to follow the trend. It won't take people's job away from them, but people who will suffer are those who refuse to embrace it. So today, many surgery could be done in a more precise manner. So actually, AI is venturing into our reign as Christians. When we talk about millennium, they are venturing into millennium live, where people can live longer or forever. Things people don't believe is possible can be done, because with the development that is coming up both on healthcare with AI today, they can take diseases out of your body, and so people are going to live longer years, no doubt. In fact, when things people thought is impossible, we will begin to see people now living 120 years, 150 years with precise, because men had created a machine that are much more intelligent, more precise than human being, where error is almost zero to a great extent. So, and these are also going to improve life. That's why I said, for those of us who have made investment, acquire large piece of property for food, we are in a good business, because there won't be technology that will obstruct eating. Any human being that is not a machine need food to be able to survive in future. So, my belief is that AI has introduced something completely new that many people have not come to terms with. And if they don't embrace it to really leverage in it, the world will leave them behind, but will continue progressing. We read the many things in the Bible, but we just have to allow God to unfold them. When we hear people are going to live forever, forever could be 200 years, forever. And the way things are happening, many things are happening that will be wondering and said, could that be true? But this knowledge and intelligence still come from God. God, you and me, Stephen, each one of us have 5 billion cells in our. So people are developing it, because everything that God is, he put in a man and gave man domain over this earth to rule the world and expand. Science tells us that we've not used up to more than 15% of what we are
Our brain
capable of.
power.
Yes. So as the world develops, people are advancing into 17%, 18%, 20%, things like AI, them are coming, men will become a genius. People will begin to think, you know, if you look at the world where Albert Einstein them live and Tesla them live in those days and telling us what is possible, nobody ever believed them.
In their time.
It took 50 years or 70 years, but they have lived in this age in their own time. They could see it, but nobody saw it. And all of them were regarded as smart people during their own time. People thought something went wrong with them, whether it's Tesla himself or Albert Einstein. But we are seeing the reality. We are having a little glimpse of what they have seen today. And there are going to be more people who will tell. So God is omnipotent and always use man to accomplish his view and purpose. Where this is going to lead us, nobody can say with precision where what will happen.
But things will never be the same, that's for sure.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Whether anybody like it or not, it has come to move. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kozo. Look forward to Singapore with you, sir, and the other speakers. Which brings me to my question, Dr. Stephen. For anyone watching, listening, what are they to expect at the retreat in Singapore, and who are they expecting to see?
Well, I think it's going to be a great time, a life-changing opportunity for you as a founder to spend time with us to learn. I always say that I'm a bridge, I'm a bridge between the older generation and the younger ones. I'm a bridge between the older entrepreneurs and the younger entrepreneurs. And so whichever way you're able to get from, it's like multiple generations you're able to glean from. And it's just a rare opportunity to have that time. It's personal. We're touring together. We're going to be going to a special island in Mauritius, spending a whole day on an island. We're going to be doing a whole, sorry, I said Mauritius, Singapore. We're
Singapore,
also
okay.
doing, we also do a Singapore city tour. We're also going to Universal. I think that we're going to Universal Studios as well. So first of all, the tour experiences is just fun. It's a kind of vacation you really deserve, but the business conversations as well, the mentorship classes, the board sessions where you're able to pitch your budget for your company for 2026 and get deep insights into what you need to correct, how you need to get it better. There's no founder that comes for that event that is not going to have the most amazing 2026 because they've never really prepared for a new year like that, right? Because they're going to really have some deeper breakdown into how they should structure their business. So it's really rich, deep, amazing, and it's relaxing. For those who are physically on ground, you are able to have that one-on-one time with us. We're able to give you customized advice, which you won't get in a conference, right? And we're just 20-something people, so it's not crowd. So there's enough 20-something people for 6 days. There's enough time for you, okay, to get our attention for us to see how we can inspire you. And I'm also personally looking forward to learn from some of the participants as well. We're all learning every day. Like Dr. Cosmos says, success is not a destination, it's a journey. We're constantly learning, constantly hearing from each other. There's just so much to bounce off. But it's a good community, a good environment to be. And again, for those of you who can't come physically, feel free to join us virtually. I think Mr. Oscar will still mention the website and call out the numbers as well. You don't want to miss it. It's just a beautiful. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I'm so excited for Singapore.
I can't wait for some people to sneeze on me.
Ah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Stevie. For those also looking forward to other, there's a corporate leadership retreat happening in Kenya and Doha. That's 20th of April to 2nd of May next year. So in case you can't make this one physically, start making plans towards that one. The website is at the bottom of this live, which is stephenakintayo.com. Stephen with a PH, stephenakintayo.com/virtual, or you can call 0904-189-8667. That's 090418988667. But follow Stephen Akintayo on Instagram, and all the information you need is there. Dr. Cosmos, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the time always. I'm not only humbled by what you say, it's the energy with which you say it. I think you've already experienced AI maybe 40 years ago, because you're looking young, you're talking young, and by God's grace, we're going to have you around for a long time to witness everything that you said that will happen to Nigeria. That is good. It will make Singapore look like child's play compared to where this country would be. I'm a strong believer also that things will get better. It's hard to see through the clouds, through the corruption, through the bad leadership, the kidnappings, the bad news. It's very hard to believe, but that is when faith is tested most.
Oh, sure.
When there's no reason to believe and God shows up in a way that accelerates us, and in quantum leaps will make up for all the lost time and exceed and excel. And I think this retreat and many gatherings like this is the spark that we all need. So please, if you can't join us physically, join us online, and make a conscious and deliberate effort to not just be a leader in the business, but also in your home, in your environment, in your community. You don't have to have the title of CEO. From right where you are, you can make a change.
Sure.
You can make a change. So thank you very much to everyone who joined in. Thank you very much, Dr. Cosmos, and of course, Dr. Stephen Akita. I think I need to go and get a doctor so that my name will also be Dr. Oscar.
Problem.
Have a good night. Have a good night, sir. And safe trip to Singapore. Dr. Stephen, good night, sir.
Good night. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Good night, sir.